Hello there, welcome to CoreTV News at 4. I'm Gift Ogete. CAM has returned to the House of Representatives after nearly 2 hours of rowdiness caused by the unresolved issues from the emergence of the Speaker and his deputy. Members of the House struggled for a maze while it all lasted, with the House instrument of authority later taken to the Speaker's inner office. After it all, and having called for a reversion of the House to plenary, Speaker Yakubu Dogara admonished his colleagues to work towards improving the welfare of the people through good legislation and unity of purpose.
But as leaders, we must always rise beyond events like this. And our job as leaders is to bring order to chaos. This is the house of the Nigerian people. Therefore means that we are free to disagree, but we must disagree in the context that promotes the unity of this house. We are very fortunate. Let me remind us of the fact that we are a very, very fortunate class. In a nation of 170 million people, only 360 of us are selected or elected to represent the people. And we should be grateful to our constituents for sending us here. To be candid, we have promised so much in the course of our elections, and even the very party I belong to, the APC, we have promised change. And Nigerians expect us to really talk about those matters, those issues that bother them most. They want to hear us talk about unemployment, about poverty in my region. They want us to address insecurity. And as long as this house is divided and not united, we cannot achieve that.
A group of federal lawmakers elected on the platform of the All Progressives Congress meanwhile warned Speaker Yakubu Dogara to respect party supremacy. Speaking at the press conference, the loyalist group maintained that the task of appointing principal officers rests with party leaders. The members said this on a day APC South Caucus members on the House resolved to allow the will of a party stand. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) caucus in the House of Representatives has condemned the uproar that disrupted plenary on Thursday. Addressing journalists, Chairman of the caucus, Leo Oga, blamed members of the ruling party for what he described as unacceptable behavior. The PDP lawmakers also called on leaders of the All Progressives Congress to find a better approach towards solving the ongoing leadership tussle in the National Assembly. The Senate has formally announced Ali Ndume as the majority leader, contrary to the position of the ruling All Progressives Congress, which wanted Hamid Lawan. Senate President Bukola Saraki also named Bala Ibn Anna Allah as deputy leader and Francis Ali Mikena as deputy chief whip. He explained at plenary that the decision was taken by the various caucuses to which the principal positions were zoned. Spokesman for the Lawan Group, Senator Kabiru Marafa, however, made a futile attempt to stop the announcement.
At 3 o'clock in the air room 301, the members of the proposed committees are Senator Ali Ndume, Senator Ahmed Sani Rima, Senator Shaba Lafiaji, Senator Sonny Boji, Senator James Manager, Senator Gwenga Shafa, Senator Shehu Sani, Senator Dino Malaya, and Senator Ben Murray Bruce. Please, other senators are invited to be at the swearing. From the Northwest APC caucus, to me nominating for the position of Deputy Majority Leader of Senator Balanala in line with these standing rules. Received a letter from the APC Northeast Caucus nominating Senator Ali Ndume as the position of the Majority Leader in line with the standing rules.
The presidency has dismissed rumors that personnel of the State Security Service have been expelled from the presidential villa. In a statement signed by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, the presidency maintained that President Muhammadu Buhari has given no such order. Adesina added that while it is true that a reorganization of security at the presidential villa, which involves the realignment of personnel from various services, is underway, the exercise does not translate to the expulsion of DSS. With the crisis in Plateau State showing no sign of abating anytime soon, efforts aimed at addressing it are on, with the State House of Assembly currently working to put together a report on the true state of affairs in the works-affected areas like Baking, Ladi and Rion. Our correspondent in Plateau has an update on the matter, and this report presented from our studios.
With the killing of his constituent, a major sticking point in the ongoing crisis in Plateau State, the member representing Bakin Ladi, which had been in the eye of the storm, Peter Garden, said killings have risen again for 2 months. He called for urgent action to be taken to address the matter before it degenerates, further positing that it has already made life unbearable for the inhabitant of the local government.
Speaker, honorable members, my name is still Peter Ibrahim Genden, member representing Bakin constituency. I want to bring to the notice of this honorable house, as a matter of urgent public importance, the day-to-day killings in my constituency. The attacks, as you all know, has been going on for quite a long time. But the way and manner the killings are going on now is a matter of urgent public importance.
For their part, the member representing Riyam, Daniel Dem, and the Deputy Speaker, Adamu Gagdi, representing Kantana constituency, asked that the LG chairman of the worst-affected areas be invited to the House to give the true picture of the happenings in their domain. They also asked that the special task force be mandated to bring the culprits to book.
The local government should be able to assist in that direction. And Mr. Speaker, I think we urge that, and even if it means inviting some of the local government chairmen to at least find out what actually is happening in their domains. If that be so, I think the local governments that are affected, I think we should be able to invite them and see ways that we'll be able to tackle the issue of the security challenges, try to at least work with them so that they should rise up to that challenge. And because the killings is becoming too much on a daily basis, and it's not.
And it is high time as a house to call on security agencies, particularly the special task force, the STF, to fish out people that are carrying out this act that is bedeviling our people. And that is why, again, Mr. Speaker, I want to suggest that the House should resolve to, as a matter of urgent public importance, to commit the government by expediting action and also stimulating the security agencies living up to their expectations.
With the atmosphere already charged, the member representing Kwakwen North, Mohammed Malu, called for a committee to be set up to have a first-hand assessment of what is happening in the affected areas and a report submitted to the House.
Why not, Mr. Speaker? I move that a committee should be set up to go to Balikilani and to see to themselves what is actually happening. If possible, to come up with a report as a blueprint for this House to adopt and further submit to the government in place.
At a point in time, it was every day. So please let us rise our responsibility. A committee should be sent, Mr. Speaker, and I want to believe by the grace of God this time around we'll find a solution. So I second my colleague. Thank you.
The House then put in place a 5-member to look into the matter and report to the House within 2 weeks.
As the uncertainty surrounding leadership positions in the 8th National Assembly continues, more groups have expressed their displeasure with the stance of the All Progressives Congress. Addressing journalists at separate press conferences, the APC caucus from the southeast and north-central zones in the lower chamber are of the view that no group deserves to be ignored in the selection process. They maintain that such act of injustice will be challenged through every available legal means.
The party is not, the party does not, it's not as if the party is there and that all of us were the basis of the party. When you have a party, you have a constitution. When you have a party, you have membership. And that this is an institution. We have our parliamentary practices, we have our precedents, we have our laws, we have the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And that the Constitution supersedes any other law and any other consideration on earth in Nigeria. And that's what we're seeking to pursue. We're saying that as a people, we are being excluded, and we cannot accept it.
Whether it is true or false, nothing is zoned to the southeast. And we believe that in the spirit of national character, in the spirit of good connection to the rest of Nigeria, in the spirit of making us belong, in the spirit of ensuring that equity and justice is played, that there is no way the leadership of the party, the leadership of the National Assembly, or the leadership of the party would distribute positions of leadership of National Assembly without giving recourse to the Southeast and what it represents.
The Senate has resolved to summon the management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Commission on the state of the nation's refineries. This followed a motion by Senator Benga Shafar on the recent spate of fuel tanker tragedies in Lagos State and other parts of the country. Senators argue that if all the refineries were functional, there would be no need for tankers to always come to Lagos to lead fuel. They also want the Buhari administration to continue with the process of revamping the rail system to ease off the pressure on Nigerian roads.
By the day, and once again raising the questions about what has become of the rail line projects of past administrations as an alternative route to Nigerian highways. Note further that as Nigerians were still lamenting the tragedy of Yano Ipaja, another occurred at Idimo in Alimosho local government area of Lagos. The incident destroyed property worth millions of naira, and no fewer than 34 buildings, 70 shops, 1 tricycle, 1 truck, and other properties were consumed by the fire ignited by the falling petrol-laden tanker.
Mr. President, distinguished colleague, I quite agree with the last speaker that says that these menace caused by these fuel tanker drivers needs to be addressed urgently. Mr. President, you will quite agree with me that as we speak, the Apapa area of Lagos is under siege.
Are under its legal responsibilities so that we can determine where things are and what we need to do to make sure that petrol is supplied to all parts of Nigeria without these dangers that we perennially pose to our people.
Akwa Ibom Governorship Election Tribunal sitting in Abuja has ordered for the transfer of election materials used in the state to Abuja for inspection. In a ruling delivered by the Justice Sadiq Umar three-man panel, and the tribunal directed the Independent National Electoral Commission to move the materials to the FCT. Omar noted that inspection of the materials will enable the petition approve the allegation of electoral malpractices in the conduct of the governorship election in the state.
The court has further ordered that the documents that are in the custody of INEC in Uyo be brought to the headquarters of INEC in Abuja for the purpose of that inspection, and that the security agencies ensure the security of those documents. That's what the court ordered.
When we were arguing the motion, we had said if the court decides to exercise its discretion in favor of having to extend the time, because it is actually within the discretion of the courts to extend time, but that the electoral materials should not be moved to the courts because the law, Section 72 of the Electoral Act, makes INEC to be the custodian of those materials.
It's CoreTV News at 4. We'll take a break. Stay with us.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to our husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, you know, another election is coming.
Because some people will stand for Yoruba land. They'll be strong man. You don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying tuned with us. Now for more information on CoreTV News, you can reach us on our social media platforms, facebook.com/CoreTV News. On Twitter, CoreTV News NG. And on YouTube, it's youtube.com/CoreTV_News. Former Governor of defunct Bendel State, General Samuel Ogbemudia, says Edo South Senatorial Zone of the state will produce the next governor in 2016 after the present administration of Governor Adams Oshomale bows out of office in November next year. The two-time governor and military administrator made this known while addressing some interest group and newsmen at his residence in Benin City.
Samuel Ogbemudia was responding to questions from journalists and said a committee referred to Edo mass movement was swinging to action July the 4th to scout for prospective credible candidates for Edo South. He emphasized that the turn of Benin-speaking tribe is to produce the next governor of the state.
A committee will be set up that will go around what you call selection committee. And from that committee, another committee, smaller committee will emerge. What you call search committee. So all those people work together to produce few names for the larger body to look at.
The two-time governor and military administrator said it is not at loggerhead with the former governor of the state, King Benedo, over the choice of who becomes the next governor of the state, but will support if he projects better candidate that is credible from Edo South.
It's a leader that I respect. And if he has somebody that meets our standard, we will support him.
Meanwhile, it will be recalled that the palace of Obo Bini was also in accord with the Benin man becoming the next governor of the state. The campaign for the next governorship candidate is expected to begin soon from the coming days.
Respite may have been in the way of Ikere town as the leadership and representatives of Ikere local government finally breaks its silence over the crisis on the vacant Ogoga stool. The secretary to the local government clears the air on the selection process done so far, ascribing it as kangaroo, showing that a new selection process will be instituted. Shib Rashid has more.
The membership crisis rocking Ikere-Ekiti may be heading for a resolution as new critical and important stakeholders start speaking on the membership tussle that had ravaged the one-town local government for a while earlier. The head of the Kingmakers and Sabetu of Ikere Kingdom, Michael Shitu, says no process has been constituted in the selection of new Ogoga against earlier processes proclaimed by some other Kingmakers.
We have not even started. I'm not just telling you, even the person who wrote the letter for the commencement of the processes for the appointment of the new Ogoga. It's not a person supposed to do that letter.
The leadership of Ikere local government, which plays very important role in the selection process, has so far been alleged for complicity on the crisis. But in a twist turn of events, the secretary to the local government, Latif Ibrahim, corroborated the stance of the Sabetu, saying no process has been instituted, even as the government knows the next ruling house to produce the next Ogoga.
If you look into the traditional declaration of 1958, it's so clear there that we have a three principals rulings house in this town, and they are rotating this position among themselves according to the where they are doing it before. Even what to say the Agabala ruling house is the next. So following from that house, they is removed to Ogbenote.
The local government secretary speaks further that a new selection process will be instituted by the state government.
Very soon, the government will ask us to call all the kingmakers. Then we start everything afresh. It will be better we start afresh, because the previous ones is more or less a kangaroo system.
With fresh facts emerging on the membership crisis, it is hoped that peace will ultimately return to Ikere as the wish of the people on the choice of Ogoga will be respected. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ikere-Ekiti.
Plans by the federal government to lay off teachers of staff schools at federal government-owned universities have been generating reactions, as the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities has threatened to embark on an industrial strike that will paralyze activities at the universities if the decision is not reversed. Southwest branch of the union held the protest at the University of Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. Rashid completes the story.
University of Ilorin Primary School is one of the 24 staff schools operated by federal universities across the country. Some of the 84 teachers in this particular school are not happy with the new directive from the Federal Ministry of Education directing the University Authority to stop paying the salary of the teachers from the budget of the school, as government will soon stop funding them. Most of the teachers roam about the school, while others discuss in hushed tones. The Southwest chapter of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities briefed the affected teachers on the planned sack as the teachers resort to protest against such decision. They wondered how other agencies like the military will operate primary and secondary schools from their budget, while universities will be an exemption. They say an agreement was signed with the government 6 years ago for the total funding of the schools from the university's budget, wondering how a circular will now be issued categorizing them as ghost workers.
Our grievances is as a result of the unjustified circular that is currently in the universities. The content of that circular is highly offending and offensive in the sense that it is calling our members in our various staff schools of the universities who were duly employed by the councils of their various universities as staff of the universities. That circular is now calling them ghost workers, that any vice chancellor that includes their names in the budget of the universities will be regarded as including the names of ghost workers in their payrolls. So for us, it's very offensive, and the union will not take it. We know there are orchestrated plans, surreptitious moves by some powerful people within the system to ensure that these people are exorcised from the system. SANU will go back to the trenches. We'll go back to the trenches, and we're going to take them on.
Ilorin branch chairman of SANU, Adeleke Afanla, threatened that federal universities will be grounded if the decision is not reversed, calling on President Muhammadu Buhari to intervene in order to avert another major crisis in the education sector.
That demands are not met in the first instance. The reason why we are having this is just to sensitize the whole world, not even Nigerians alone, that workers in the university systems are not lovers of strike. And you know when the demands are not met, it means you have been pushed to the wall. And you know the next alternative will be declaration of strike. But we are telling the whole world we are not interested in strike. It's not the best instrument we want to be using every time. But when our calls are not being attended to, of course, we don't have any other option. It's part of our weapons that we fight.
The union also called for the removal of the executive secretary of the National Universities Commission, Professor Julius Okoje, for being part of the plot. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ilorin.
As the activities of insurgents continue to rise across West African sub-region, the Controller General of Nigerian Immigration Service, David Baradang, has called for more vigilance at the borders. Baradang stated this at the Summit on Mobility and Security in West Africa, organized by Clean Foundation in Lagos. Represented by Mohammed Nuruddin, Deputy Comptroller of Immigration Service, Seme Command says monitoring of immigrants coming in and out of the country is essential to checking the activities of criminal-minded people.
Is that visa really genuine or fake? We have to look at the visa. Then, if he is given permit to enter the country, what do we do when he is residing in the country? We have to monitor him also. Because certainly we cannot give him free hand and then or to be moving the way he likes. No, that's why we have our IIE, Intelligence, Inspectorate, and then Enforcement.
Following the strong fight against crime, most especially kidnapping and courtism, which are currently under increase in Imo State, the State's Command of the Department of State Security says it has recorded great feat. The recent one being the parade of another 5 young men and lady that were paraded at the command for locking up a man in a toilet for 5 days without food nor water. Correspondent Ajibade Awofeso reports.
On hearing the arrest of the kidnappers, the governor, who had been worried over the rate of crime in the state, did not hesitate to visit the command. He thanked the men of the command for their job well done. Responding to some of the questions put to them, the suspected kidnappers said they are not the real men behind the kidnapping of one Nwanwike Chinaka. The governor, however, reacted to the inhumanity perpetrated by the kidnappers.
Citizens of Nigeria. Now, for having kept somebody for 1 week in a place, in a toilet, is dehumanizing, and I'm sure they had intention to kill him if you don't provide the money. Now, what I want to assure Imolites that working together with military agencies of Imo State, we shall guarantee their security.
The governor, however, in strong terms, asked every criminal in the state to pack their belongings and leave the state, that the people of Imo are great people and they cannot shelter criminals.
But let me again warn all criminals, all kidnappers, get out of Imo State. This is not your place. Get out now, because we are ready for you. And any house of any kidnapper or where kidnapping is found will be demolished and destroyed. First of all, we have to go to their homes and see the lifestyle of their parents. If the lifestyle of their parents does not justify their means, does not justify the building they have, those buildings also will be brought down and their parents will be tried. And I want to warn parents now to ask where are your children every day and what they do and the kind of friends they keep.
The director of the command also assured the governor and the entire people of Imo State that they will continue to do their best to ensure the state is free of crime.
So I'm assuring you, Excellency, that this is just the beginning. In no distant future, the issue of kidnapping will be a thing of the past in Imo State. And we still crave for your support.
The kidnappers are to be tried soon in court, all to face the law accordingly. Ajibade Awofeso, CoreTV News, Owerri.
Residents of Alagbole Akute in Ifo local government area of Ogun State are grappling with the challenges posed by bad road network over the years. The situation for most residents reaches its peak during the rainy season, and with the rains now here, residents of the area are again exposed to the challenge of navigating the area due to flood and erosion affecting the road network. Our correspondent Precious Kingston, who visited the area, has more in this report presented from our studios.
Movement for those who have access to good road is just hassle-free, but for the residents of Alagbole Akutini for local government area of Ogun State, it's not something to be taken lightly with the awful condition of the road network within the area, which is home to thousands. For an average vehicle owner, navigating the roads here is a difficult task. Different strokes, they say, for different folks, which motorcycles and tricycles have become an alternative means of transportation, with many of them smiling to the bank daily. Some private vehicle owners who are not happy with the bad state of the roads bear their minds on what they go through daily.
Let government just support us to finish this job. We need an assistant. And because this road is worst thing. When the rain continues like this place will not, there's no way to pass. And a lot of motor and a bike spoiling along this road.
We are appealing to the governor to please. This is a good project, but we are appealing to them to finish it on time. The suffering here is much for us. I feel like packing out of Akute and move into Lagos.
These residents say the health implication has become a source of major worry, with refuse dumps now the common sight almost on the major roads.
Government should come to our own aid here and just see what they can do so that the people in this vicinity will not be able to contact any disease from what is going on with this.
The bad road network has 8 implications on economic activities in the area, leading to a mass immigration.
Yes, so everybody has run away now. No one is here again. Everybody has gone to Ajal, Ikeja, Ogba, Bega, Ojodu, so Oshodi. In fact, many has gone back to Ibadan. But we are managing here because we don't have anywhere to go. So we need to relax here and be waiting on to God for God to do something. We are begging the government to assist us. It's not too late. Though we know this is rainy season, but at the same time, maybe during the dry season, they should help us to put things in order.
The problem we have now, look, you can see the vehicle, all the vehicle going now, is this bridge. The governor has tried to do the bridge to this level. Now that it's in, let it come and complete the bridge, or even do the wrong way for us so that we can see road passing. All the vehicles here are damaging. You can see this vehicle damaged, other one damaged there. Just help us to come and do the road. There's no anything else. For this main time now, let it just call the Chinese people to come and straighten the road so that people can pass around and the vehicle can move around.
With this situation showing no signs of an improvement anytime soon due to the ongoing financial crisis that has crippled activities in many states, the demand of the residents of the area is that the state government must find a quick fix solution to the bad state of the road.
It's CoreTV News at 4. We'll take another break. Stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
2 new cases of Ebola virus disease has been confirmed in Freetown, Sierra Leone, dashing hopes that the capital city is free of the deadly virus. A spokesman for the National Ebola Response Center, Sidi Tunis, said there were concerns about further infections since the 2 cases were reported in Magazine, a densely populated slum in the capital city. Health officials said the first case in Freetown since May 29th was a fisherman who caught the hemorrhagic fever from his girlfriend in the northern district of Port Loko. Shortly afterwards, a family member who lived in the same household also caught the virus. The other 6 cases recorded in Sierra Leone over the past week were in the northern provinces of Port Loko and Cambia. Health Ministry data showed the worst-known Ebola epidemic in history has killed more than 11,000 people in West Africa, about a third of them in Sierra Leone. Liberia became Ebola-free in May, but its neighbors Sierra Leone and Guinea are still struggling to get to 0 cases despite hundreds of millions of dollars in aid. President Obama has assured his French counterpart, Francois Hollande, that the U.S. is no longer spying on France. Mr. Obama spoke to Mr. Hollande following reports on the WikiLeaks website that the U.S. National Security Agency, NSA, spied on successive French residents. WikiLeaks reported that the NSA had intercepted communications from President Francois Hollande and former leader Nicolas Sarkozy and Jacques Chirac between 2006 to 12. The allegations prompted a backlash from the French government, with Mr. Hollande saying he would not tolerate acts that threatened France's security. He called two emergency meetings, the first with France's top security officials and another with leading legislators. Prime Minister Manuel Valls urged the U.S. to quickly repair damage to its relationship with France. The U.S. Ambassador Jane Hartley was also summoned to the Foreign Ministry in Paris to discuss the latest claims. French intelligence officials are due to travel to Washington for more talks. Host Chile moved into the Copa America semi-finals after Mauricio Isla late winner knocked nine-man holders out of the tournament. Chile dominated, bruising Cantas, Eduardo Vegas and Arturo Vidal both going close before Edison Cavani was sent off for a second yellow card. Uruguay held out until the 82nd minute when Isla smashed home from 16 yards in the closing moment of an ugly game. Defending George Fusil was red-carded for a second caution. Chile will now face the winners of Friday's match between Bolivia and Peru for a place in the final. There is no longer room for error in what he has admitted is the biggest game of his coaching career. Bolivia coach Mauricio Soria has vowed that his side will go all out to beat Peru in their Copa America quarter-final in Temuco on Thursday. El Verde survived the group, which included host Chile, Ocado against who they picked up their first win in the tournament for 18 years. And Mexico, now the Bolivia boss, insists that his side cannot afford to make any mistakes against a talented Balquiroja side in the last 8. Leicester City has bolstered their defensive options with the permanent signing of centre-half Robert Huth from Stoke City for an undisclosed fee. The Premier League has confirmed the 30-year-old German, who has signed a 3-year contract, went on loan to the King Power Stadium on transfer deadline day on 2 February this year and played a key role in helping Leicester retain their backers' Premier League status. He made 14 BPL appearances for Leicester as part of a defensive unit, who recorded 5 clean sheets in the final 7 matches of the champion. Huth scored once for the Foxes, heading home the second goal as Leicester came from behind to beat West Bromwich in April. World number 1 Rory McIlroy needs to respond to the challenge posed by U.S. Open winner Jordan Spieth, says former Ryder Cup captain Paul McGuinness. McIlroy lead in the Cup on the world ranking over Spieth, who also won the Masters in April, is now just 1.72 points. American Spieth 21 has narrowed the ranking gap on McIlroy after trailing the Northern Ireland player by 530 points at the end of 2014. And that's CoreTV News at 4. Thank you for watching. Join us again. I am Get.